guys, join me today as we make our own faux tree, which is actually an autumn inspired one. I'm very excited for this one. I don't know if you've ever gone shopping for your own faux trees, but they are so expensive, it's crazy. And so I'm going to show you how to make one at home by yourself. Okay, so first things first, you're going to need a tree base, some fake leaves, a glue gun, a drill, masking tape, paint. We'll get into all that later, it's best if I show you as we go. Here are some of the content creators that I followed in order to get this tutorial correct, and I'll link them below also. So for this project you will need a tree branch. So I went to the park and I found a lot of dead branches lying around, and so I picked the ones that I thought would best suit what I'm going for. And Ria just assumed it was playtime. It's mine. I couldn't actually fit the branch into the car, so we had to saw it into pieces to get it in and then put it back together when I got home. Which I don't recommend. If you can walk home with your branch, you should do that. I should have done that, but here we are. Okay, so I went to the shop and I bought a bunch of fake leaves. The shop I went to is called Offertissimo. It's kind of the equivalent of a pound shop. So I bought all of their leaves, which I think was about 17 stems. And they were so cheap. They were like, I think €1 or €1.50 each. It was perfect. So to begin, I first began by taking away any twigs or little bits on the tree that I didn't want, and then I followed by taking away branches that I didn't want. So at this stage I've broken the tree up into 3 pieces, and now we're going to just assemble it back together. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So to reassemble my tree, I had to drill a hole into the branch that I had cut off and then into the tree as well. And then I combined them together using these wooden dowels, and I also used some wood glue. I also added a bit of duct tape around it, but this is temporary. It was just to help hold it in place. Also, don't be discouraged by this. You can find a tree that fits your space and it's one piece. But for me, I suppose I was being a little picky and there was little bits and bobs that I wanted to change. So I took the harder route. So then I first began by adding some branches, twigs and leaves into little areas that I wanted, and I used a glue gun for this. So I found that the glue gun seems to work best for light things and small things, so small leaves or small twigs and so on. It didn't really work as well with the bigger objects I found. I also had the tree leaning against the wall, which really wasn't working in my favour. So I decided to make the base for the tree, which is basically just using a small bucket or an old bucket of some sort and then filling it with some cement, and then just follow the instructions of your packet of your cement. I then used some tape to help keep it in place while it was drying. Alright, it's the next day and our concrete is set now, so we can actually work properly with this today. Let's give it a little test. Yep. I found the leaves to be a little too green. In my opinion, it made it look a little too fake. So I decided to spray them all a little brown. So I did this to try and help give them a bit more of a realistic look, I suppose. Alright, I've got my bucket full of faux leaves. I've sprayed them a little bit brown just to try and help get them looking a little bit more real. And then we're going to start sticking them on. If you don't want to use a glue gun or you don't have a glue gun, another option is to take the plastic off the bottom of your stem and then to use the wire that's underneath it, and then you can wrap that around the branch that you're working with. And then the other method is that you can drill a tiny hole into the branch and then stick that little wire from the stem into the branch, and it will hold it in place. I actually found this method to be quite helpful. I think this one was my second favourite method to use, and I'll show you my first favourite method later. I'm looking for faith, looking for love in every direction. Looking for someone to show me the way when my map is torn up. Give me a light when my torch is blown out. I just wanted to give you a very real update on how the tree is going, and this is the current situation. So these are the 2 pieces that I reattached. However, they were fine, and then this one in particular, they just broke off, they just disconnected completely. And so for now I've reattached them with some wood glue and I put duct tape around them. Everyone's DIY projects can take a turn and we just have to regroup and find a new solution. So we'll see how it is tomorrow. So So I've completely stripped the tree back. I was starting to think it was just a bit too big. I just wasn't liking it. I think it was a nice tree, but just not for my space. So the plan now is to reassemble the whole thing. I'm going to follow the same methods that I had been using already, which was to use the drill piece, the glue gun and the wire. And we're going to put it back together as quickly as possible. Yeah, so that didn't happen. Instead, I took a holiday. And on our holiday, we went on a hike. And then it was there that I found my inspiration with this tree. How beautiful is the colors on this tree? So when I got home, I got straight back into it. I sprayed the leaves this time with gold and 2 different color browns. We have a chocolate brown and a chestnut brown. I was hoping that the combination of these 3 colors was going to give a nice warm autumny style vibe. And so now it was time to begin again. I also didn't add the big large branch back on. I decided I didn't need it. I didn't want my tree to be that big. So sometimes I would place the leaves on with masking tape just to kind of get a look and see if I'm happy with it in that position. And then if I was happy, I would go and glue or drill a hole or whatever I had to do. However, then I began to realize that actually the masking tape would hold the leaves in place really well. I had moved the tree around multiple times and even hit into it, and the masking tape did a great job. So I decided to just start sticking all of them on with masking tape, and it worked perfectly. I'm not joking. So I began using this method and it worked really well for me. Now my tree might look like it's been covered in a bunch of bandages, like it fell off a bike or something, but trust me, I used a dark brown matte paint on this and then it just made everything blend in perfectly. I'll show you the results of it later. So once I had finished assembling the tree together, I put it inside a pot. So then I cut a piece of cardboard to fit inside the pot. Then I taped the sides and where there might have been some gaps. I then filled it with some moss. And here are the results of the first tree. For the second tree, it was going to be in my entryway, which you actually get to see in my entryway makeover video. So I'll link that video up so you can go check it out. And so I began putting the leaves on this one with the same method as before, using mainly drill wire and masking tape. I don't think I used the glue gun on this one. I started by clipping away anything I didn't want on the tree, and then I began adding all the leaves onto it again. And then again, I decided I wanted it to be brown. So I just added some dark brown spray to this one here. I reassembled it, and then here's the results. So what do you think? Is making a faux tree something that you would do at home? It's also great because you can make it to whatever size or shape you want depending on your house. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to make another one on my way to Ireland today actually, so I'll be hopefully making a new video there. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, or if it's nighttime, I hope you have a fantastic sleep, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!